Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home.
Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy.
Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
Okay, there we go. Whew. Okay, so that was strange when it comes to the way live things go. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Do me a favor, give me a big old thumbs up in the chat so that way I know you can indeed hear me, because we were having a bit of a technical challenge. I don't know if you noticed that at all or not. Nonetheless, did not want to keep you guys waiting too much longer for this information, and specifically to make sure that you guys had all, the last little bits of information that we had available. Now, many of you know that you've had an opportunity to see multiple sessions as it relates to getting your short-term rental business started. And there are some of you who probably are finding out that this is your first session here. And you're like, okay, what's been going on? What you're going to want to do is you want to get over to CashFlowDiary.com/workbook, pick up a copy. Make sure that you take it with you in terms of completing it, answering the questions, because on the other end of answering all the questions, on the other end of getting through the information, you'll be building your business at the same time. And that's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to be building your business, not just thinking about one day, hopefully I can too participate, but we're giving you the tools to get started. We're going to continue giving you some of those tools, some more answers in the workbook. So for those of you that are here, that are ready, that can indeed make sure that you are able to take some notes, then I'm just going to encourage you to do that continual very thing. Because the information that we share, I guess, it's designed to help you become bigger, badder, bolder, etc. And at the end of the day, what I want is you to be able to benefit from that information. So if you've got a question, feel free to type it in the chat real quickly, because we've got some information. And when it comes down to the questions, I'm going to be scanning the chat, looking for anything that you have a question about, especially as we go over what we're going to be talking about. And ultimately, I don't know what you don't know. And the only way I'm going to find out is if you ask. If you don't ask, then, well, I can't help you. But my goal here is to do exactly that. Now, in the immediate previous session, we were talking about your listing, your photos, how to get those great reviews. Remember, no more of those great place, thanks types of reviews. And what does it take to build a business that people want to come back to? What does it take to, honestly, in a sense, make it? Now, with that being said, we have a number of common questions that have come to us. So I want to make sure that we start with those. And like I said, I'll be looking in the chat really briefly for your questions as well. So I want to make sure that I see them. Okay. All right. So one of the categories, if you will, of common questions that we tend to get are the, hey, what if I can't do, what if, well, typically you say, what about is Airbnb banned in my area, or you can't do that here? That's typically how the question comes to us worded. And here's what I will say. Every place on the planet that has and houses people and in which you are legally able to own or control property, there is a way to do it. Okay, so I'm just say that blanketly. Now, for those of you who are like, no, what I'm going to say to you is, I hear what you are saying. Now, I want you to separate yourself from your already chosen path and hear this. It is in the nuances and in the details of reading nearly every ordinance and working in 16 different countries with all of our students that I say to you the following. Most of the ordinances, what they actually say, what they're actually communicating is here's how and where, or under what conditions and when you can do this. Now, this is also nebulous in its description, because when I say short-term rental, it's not well defined, right? Or when you say, well, Airbnb business, we know why we don't say that, but understand when you say that, you communicate based upon an assumption that either the other person knows or you know, or something of that nature. And this is where people get into trouble. And this is the answer to your question. Here's what I want you to do. The next time you're thinking, oh, you can't do that here, your job is to then read the actual ordinance. Literally go to yourcounty.gov, whatever the government website is of the city or county that you are referring to, and read the ordinance. I haven't found one yet. not one, guys. All right. Not one that we cannot find a way to work with. This is why when we're asking you, hey, you know what you want to do is you want to catch up with Rob and Jeremy, understand the depths and breadth of the roadmap program, because short-term rentals is the beginning of building what is your financial future and foundation. You build your financial foundation with a business, then you layer on top of that business a number of cash flow instruments. Now, I don't really care what they are, but you got to first have the business. Notice I didn't say job, business, in order to do that. And then from there, we just help you through over the entire 12 months to understand so that you can learn to read the ordinance and find opportunity. It is because of what you don't know that continually costs you, continually hurts you, continually, you just watch opportunity costs go straight out the window, right? And we had this discussion. Remember, $1,317.57 every day is coming to literally to your neighborhood, to your city, for someone who is running at least 15 bedrooms. And the only difference is it's just not coming to you at this moment. So every moment, every hour that goes by, every minute that goes by is an opportunity cost. An hour, I believe, was $54 and some change. How many hours have went by since the last time you and I have seen each other, or you see me on your phone? Or more importantly, how many hours have gone by since you've spoken with Rob and Jeremy and got this thing started? Because that's really where this lives and dies, right? None of this matters if you're not the one taking action, because again, people are traveling to your area today, right now. And that's what we're talking about. But so can it? How can it? That's a much better question. All right. Instead of assuming you can't, I know what the newspapers say, but instead of assuming you can't, instead of listening to the newspaper, which is not designed to create or show you opportunity, instead of listening to the newspaper, go read the ordinance and learn how to interpret what's there so you know what to do. Okay. So when you can't have short-term rentals in your area, you realize that you can, and now you know what to do about it, which will empower you when you encounter this situation, thus giving you a competitive advantage over others. Now, there are, I don't even know how to, okay. So there are a number of things that I have witnessed and continually witness, and I'm pulling up some notes here. There are a number of things that I've had the privilege of witnessing that, that are common. Yeah, that's the best word. Common mistakes that people make because remember the double-edged sword. The business is easy to understand. It has an easy proof of concept. There is not one person to whom you go and say, hey, people stay in houses. That is not revelatory. That is not some special experience. That is not, you did not teach them anything. All right. And because of that, we naturally go, oh, I can do that. And that's good. We naturally can see ourselves providing housing in this manner for someone. That it's not like, oh my God, I hope I can find a customer, you know, that is not the common thing. Now, because of that, that means that the easy entry, easy exit, right? But, and this is where the mistakes begin, is because we start making decisions along the lines of, well, what's the least I can do to get started? How can I make sure that I don't know. I don't want to spend I don't need that really. I just need this little bit, right? Because that's good enough. Those good enough decisions will put you out of business, I promise. So some of the common things that that tends to happen is when you're in front of a landlord, you're not uncovering the correct information. Write this down. PIG, professional information gatherer. That is what you must become. Do you remember the script? Hi, my name is Jay. My company and I are looking to lease a number of properties in the area. Are you the right person to talk to about this? Magic, right? But remember, the goal is just to get the appointment, nothing else. Then, hi, when you get to the right person, you repeat it, right? The goal is to go walk the property. The goal is to go see the property, not to educate them on who you are and what you do and how great you are. No, you're just trying to get an appointment at this stage. Over time, as the relationship builds, they're going to find out. You're going to answer. I believe that was a few sessions back, right? We gave you detailed answer how to handle is this Airbnb or what does your company do? Questions, because we want to make sure that you are armed, that you are ready, that you can absolutely crush it with the time that you do have. Okay. And then as we showed you examples, but now let me give you context. When you're looking at the photos, ask yourself the next time you go to a Flipkey, a Wimdu, a Booking.com, an Expedia, Travelocity, Airbnb. Notice how there are a lot of marketplaces. I'm reminding you of that. There are a ton of marketplaces, so there isn't just one. And that's just one of many ways. But when you're looking at the photos, ask yourself, are they speaking to any individual type of person and or demographic? Most of the time, what you're going to find is the answer is no. It's not a competition to see who can design. It's not a competition to see who can create the best images and photos. It's not that. It's who can tell the best story. At the listing level, wins. Now, mind you, tell the best story without sacrificing security and safety and all the other things that are there, because that becomes the biggest thing that people sacrifice is security and safety, which is, again, the number one reason why most people still have not used an OTA is because they're afraid something's going to happen to them because your security procedures are not what they need to be. They're not detailed. They're not written out. You don't have a fail-safe or a backup. You actually think a key is secure and you just hand it to them. Or worse, you leave the code the same. You do all kinds of things that creates insecurity inside the experience of staying at your location. So go the extra mile to create security by making sure that when you are telling the story, it's clear that, oh, that's right, this is for me, right? Remember the pack and play stroller and high chair. who's going to say, oh, this place, this is for me. Extremely high Wi-Fi, maybe even better than the one that you have at home. This is for me. There's a person for that. You start with, as I said, who do you want to serve? So that you know who that is, so that they say that when they see your photos. Tell the best story. Probably one of the next ones that tends to come up a lot is everyone wants to talk about, well, they just don't understand the metrics and what they mean. And then therefore they do not ask the correct question around the numbers, right? For example, someone will say, well, I got a 90% occupancy rate. It's okay. Awesome. Well, mine was 91. I was 60. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, those of you who already understand the numbers, it is very possible that the person who did 60 actually earned more money in terms of occupancy. By not understanding your numbers, what ends up happening, and then again, entrepreneurs, we're guilty of this, we can focus on revenue. Revenue is wonderful, but it's a vanity metric to a degree if you hear what I'm saying. What's important is net profit. But not understanding what that is communicated as, or how to create and maintain and measure it, it gets nebulous. It feels like your business, if you have one, is out of control. Because again, this is not an Airbnb business. This is a short-term rental business. You're providing temporary housing for people over a specified window of time, which comes with a whole bunch of, should come with a whole bunch of other things. And that's what's important. Not, let me be very clear here. It's not about just the accommodation, the room rate. In fact, that's the least profitable part. As a corollary to that, often what ends up happening is when we're first getting started inside of a business, we're like, how much is that going to cost? And we're focused on literally the wrong thing. How much is it going to cost? Well, if you follow the system and do it right, it doesn't cost you anything. It will become an investment. Remember how I said net profit, $800 per bedroom per month. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. And as you continue to run it, it pays you. That's how it works, period. There's no other way to look at it, because it's not an upfront or sunk cost, kind of like what happens when we go to college, because this is probably the most accurate thing you can think about is the cost. Oh, I got to spend all of that money up front first before I can get any of it back or start to see results. And that is one of the biggest, greatest things about this particular business model, is that I've had the privilege of watching people for a number of years experience the return, the change, the difference, and get into real estate and build cash flow in such a way that they're like, wow, this is awesome. I had no idea that I could do this and be so quickly. And those are that's the thing. See, we get focused on, but what it's going to cost me. Like I said, this business, short-term rentals, is easily 7 figures, but for your belief level, we'll say just multiple 6. Okay. Because we've got to step you one step at a time, right? Just one step at a time. But when I say to you, hey, if you give me 20, I give you 144, is that a fair exchange? You give me 20, I give you 144. Oh, and by the way, when I give you the 144, if you want to, you can do it again next year and you don't have to give me anything. Or you can give me 20 again next year and I can teach you how to take that 144 and put a 0 behind it. See, the thing is you gain skills. The number one thing to understand is that an investment in skills is the number one thing we should have been doing from kindergarten, period. It's what we use to create value in the marketplace. Yes, math is money. We've talked about it. Skills, though, I'm telling you, understanding and skills, these are the things that the economy values. How to bring a product to market. Guess what? That's a skill. How to market a product, how to sell that product, how to describe that product, how to explain that product, how to talk about it, how to recruit and train and hire and fire and compensate and design and plan and planning. Planning's a skill, trust me. I'm learning and relearning this one over and over and over again as my team teaches me, which I love that I have a team that is willing to do that, by the way. But at the end of the day, skills. What is an idea worth? Well, it's up to you to make it worth a lot. Which is why it can be challenging, because I know for most of you, when we say, hey, wow, you will want to be in this environment where the beginning is, hey, get one short-term rental, learn to then take that one, turn it into 10, and then get to phase 3, because you want to get to phase 3 as quickly as humanly possible. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. When you talk to Rob and Jeremy, ask them about, hey, what's recently happened in phase 3 for you? Or what recently has been in phase 3 that Jay's been talking about that will also help me continue to build my financial future? Because it is inside of that phase 3 conversation where you begin to go, oh my goodness, this is so much more than just short-term rentals. It always has been. The name of the company is CashFlowDiary. Let me be very clear. It's about learning to own, control, manage, manipulate assets, build them so that it brings cash flow to you, period. I don't really care what asset it is, all right? We start with short-term rentals. Again, high cash on cash return, the kind of ROI that's required, quick results, quick enough results so that less of you quit on yourselves, right? Yes, there will be struggle. There will be strife. It will not be easy. It will not be a lay down, but it can be done. And you're surrounded by some of the best operators that we have trained over the years and all the new ones that have started under what many would consider the most challenging economic in dire times. And they're having success. And they're progressing through all of the phases. And they're learning more than they thought they could or knew. And they're excited about it. And they're showing up. You know why? Because they're growing. And people stay where they grow. And we're asking you to come grow with us. It's just that simple. Now, inside your workbook, you should be able to see, like I said, a lot of the answers or the places for these, the answers to these questions. So hopefully, like I said, you downloaded the workbook, but now it's time for the homework, because I haven't forgotten, right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to, again, and I said it quickly, so I'll say it again. You type in your city, okay? Or do it this way. Go to Google, type in short-term rental ordinance, your city or county or province. You hear what I'm saying, okay? Depending on where you are. And see what comes up. Most of you're still not going to find anything, and that's fine. But some of you will. Great. You're going to ignore all of the newspaper, all of the opinion, all of the blah, blah, blah. Focus only on the actual ordinances and then read them. You'll find so much opportunity inside. Okay. And we're at that stage where, as we talk about often, GPT, goal, plan, track. Your job, you had a goal. I have a goal, I hope, to build another unit. So even if you have one, you want another. If you have 10, you want another. There's never a time, right? You want to be able to house more individuals. Supply and demand is completely out of whack. There's not the supply. There still is demand. Pricing is, again, out of whack. All of these things are not what they used to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish we were back at all-time high pricing, but we will be, just not yet. And the only difference is how many nights will you be able to sell every night? Did you catch that? See, on any one day, depending on the number of units you have, you can sell multiple nights. So think about that idea. Remember, your annual income becomes your monthly income. Be willing, be open to feel, receive, to be willing, be open to feel and receive and to do those things. And for those of you who you long ago decided, yeah, this makes sense, good. Because it's never not. And in fact, you've already decided, you know what? I may not know this second. Remember what we said, we're going to train ourselves to respond differently to the same stimulus. Okay, how do I find a way to pay for it? That's a better question than just deciding you aren't in the game. Because we told you, and I state again, you can find a way in using no cash out of your pocket. Yay. This is back to why you want to make sure that you catch up with Rob and Jeremy at CashFlowDiary.com/let's meet. Because we are meeting consistently. In fact, in just a few hours, we're going to have another Wealth Wednesday. And there's always something going on when it comes to this. And what's interesting is the ability to understand how you can take how your business of short-term rentals plays into the legacy. And we show you that step by step by step. 5 calls every week. These are live. Your personal accountability coach, you'll have access to our app. That's why we want you to get started and now. Because there is only now is when you and I can act. We can want to act in the future or maybe in the past. But hey, a whole bunch of wish I couldas. And that just doesn't work. Now, does it? See, at this moment, some of you are still focused on the cost, and I'm trying to get you to snap out of it so that you don't cost yourself something that is more than money, and which in this case is time. And being able to put ourselves in a situation in which you're surrounded by individuals who have the capacity, desire, willingness to not only show, but demonstrate and model for you exactly how to make any business, let alone this one, work for you, is a very unique thing, in my opinion, and definitely in the real estate space and definitely right now. And when you do the math, what we're really saying is within your first 4 months, we expect you to have at least 4 units, which means 4 bedrooms, which means $3,200 of net income on a monthly basis. And as you continue, we expect that number to grow quickly. In fact, you'll want it to grow, but you just do the work, period. We have a number of individuals, as you've already seen and met, and many of you know them personally already anyway, who succeed at doing this very thing. And that's how you found out about us and why you're here. It's very simple. It's about continuing to take action in the correct direction, laboring under correct knowledge, and making sure that you're doing the activities in the necessary quantity that are designed to create the success that you seek. You can do it. Will you? Now, let's get a couple of these questions that you guys have put here, because I think they're somewhere. Oh, there they are. I see comments right there. Well, yes, I too am liking this orange color. I agree with you, Mary, 1000%. Let's see. Alex got a large question. All right, let's do this. I have 16 listings. Congrats. 6, 2, 2 ones. Okay, 4, 2, 10. Got it. 2 studios and 4 rooms. The 4 rooms. That's interesting. All 16 listings after a guest call. Oh, ha 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 ha. Got it. Mm-hmm. And the guest said they're still there. They're indirect. Got it. The Airbnb staff said the rest of your question is cut off, Alex. I literally see what you see right here. I don't see anything else. Okay. That's I don't see anything else, but I'm going to go with, I think I know where this is going because I've had this type of issue before with someone falsely reporting that we were recording them or the security, whatever they want to do to retaliate and get mad. You need to get to trust and safety. That is the 3rd level. You need to do that like yesterday. And I'm wondering, Alex, I know that part of our system is to help you well, we advise you to, hey, make sure that you are building your customer experience team. If you have not done that, I would encourage you strongly to do that. That is the best that I'm going to say at this particular moment in time. But you must get to trust and safety, period. Now, here's the good news. You can document and should have, because see, one of the things that would happen in this case for us is that when that happens, our team, we have our SOPs already listed where they're going to create the folder in an online document library. So maybe we'll use Dropbox, Google Drive, what have you. They'll download all the videos, all the timestamps, properly label all the videos. This is a key step because Airbnb will not go through every video. You need to tell them what is in each video and what you can see so that they can know what's so. And rightly or wrongly, it is on you to prove to them that you are already innocent. There is no innocent until proven guilty. Or sorry. Yeah, there is no innocent until proven guilty. It is literally the exact opposite. So, and I know, yeah, well, that's why you're writing a question. Every millisecond is money out the door, right? And you're internally like, we got to get that fixed. This is the other thing that we have said and say again. This is why you do not put yourself in a situation in which you have an Airbnb business, because you then have a single point of failure. I don't know, because I haven't seen your site and stuff in a while. You must make sure that you are building your direct booking and having multiple channels, all of those integrated properly so that you can still maintain your 7-minute response time and or your team can do so on a 24/7 basis. I'm hoping those things are in place for you right now, because if they are, then this won't be as bad. If they're not, then additionally, this is also the reason why we've said and say again, have an additional profile as a backup, because you just never know when or for what reason. All of these things combined become how you have a resilient business that can handle these shockwaves of craziness that could occasionally happen to us. Because yeah, I know we're dealing with people. So hopefully that helps. Beyond residential investing, have you ever thought about mobile home investing? I have thought about mobile home investing. I choose not to deal with mobile homes because I typically want to make sure that I get the land. Now, I'm not every mobile home park or land or the coach above the land. There were a lot of moving pieces there. I'm fine with the moving pieces. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not relative to who I want to serve. So yes, mobile home does good, but short-term rentals does better. Let me see. Yes, professional. How much startup capital would a person need to start? All of it. It's not about the capital. It's about the time. You're going to invest more money and more time than you want, right? This is not let me just slide in under the rug and do just the bare minimum. This is I'm ready to serve someone correctly. I tell everyone to start with a minimum of $25 per square foot. Over time, you'll learn to get that number down. So just make sure you do so. You got to do it. All right. Oh, is this more? Said they would contact today, but they have not. Could range from 2 days to several months. Please advise. Yes, exactly. I had a feeling that this is where the rest of your question was going. So yeah, we have video proof, but the cleaning staff are not wearing masks. Should I be concerned about sending these yet? Yeah, you should be concerned about all violations of any protocols that you were supposed to be following. Now, can you make a case that, hey, guess what? They're not wearing masks in this video, but they also were not expecting someone to still be there because they were supposed to be gone. So it's not an unreasonable way to state it. You just don't want that to become discovered. You want to be direct and upfront about, hey, here's the video, here's the timestamps, here's what you're going to see. You will also notice that our staff is not wearing masks. They're not wearing masks because, as you can tell by the timestamp, they were supposed to be gone. We were not expecting them to be there, and they were not. That type of situation. So we have and we have had a guest or two now with COVID. She was a nurse. Anyway, so all I'm saying is you want to always be able to follow up and enforce and prove your innocence. I know it. If you try to skip steps, you end up in this situation where you need to prove your innocence, but because you did not want to do or thought, hey, this will be cheaper, I'll do it this way. Jay doesn't know. You're right. I don't know. And it's your money, your business. Remember what I said, though. Revenue is a vanity metric. It's that net profit. And this is where you end up paying more money because maybe you skipped the customer experience department. Maybe you skipped the backup profile or all the other redundancies, or maybe you skipped something on the screening side that maybe could have prevented this in the first place. This is my point of why that's why I say start with $25 a square foot. I'm aware if I just wanted to throw some IKEA furniture in a room that it could be less. It's not about that. It's about delivering that quality experience. That quality experience is going to bring your person back over and over again, so that when or if your business experiences a downturn, you can still rely upon frequency and margin to make your money. Because if you can't do that, it's nobody's fault but your own, because you should have built it that way from the beginning. Remember, you can only do 2 ways to do things, right and again. And my friend, I understand I have done things again so many times. Yay. But like I said, let us know. We're here to help, obviously. And for those of you who were like, man, that was kind of intense. Totally understand. We have a lot of what I like to call, or what we call, care-frontations from time to time. I've known Alex for a little while. All right. So just understand. It's not like some random person that I haven't, so breathe. And I know he'll respond and go out there and he'll make his business greater. And that's exactly what I want him to do. That's exactly what he will do. Simple as that. For those of you who have not yet found out more about who we are, what we do, how it works, and you would like to have a dedicated accountability coach because information is not the sole solution. You need strategy. You need mentorship. You need apprenticeship and practice. Then you're going to make sure that you go to cashflowdiary.com/let's meet now. Schedule that time, schedule that appointment. I look forward to seeing you inside soon. Until next time.